Hey, hi everybody, and welcome back to another treat for you this Tuesday evening. I got to tell you too, man, this special episodes that we've been putting together with you, with our guest and my dear friend Monica Hall, have been phenomenal. That's right. This is the fourth time she's blessed us, man. So if you missed any of the sessions, let me know and we'll get you some replays because I mean we went from complete devastation in her situation to a woman that is on fire, that is sharing the message, that has stepped through all types of hoops. And we still have some issues, but she is just one thing after another. Last week we talked about, we'll give you something really quick. Last week we talked about some what's to do, and she's got something. If you missed that one and you still want a pamphlet, I think she may be able to get you the sheet for that. And then we just kind of go all the way back to how it first experience began this journey for her, and we're talking about divorce and forgiveness and pain and identity and all those things, right? And she just shows up in an amazing way. And man, we're so fortunate to be able to amplify the message of hope, amplify the message of never giving up and forgiveness first, right? I mean, and all of those things that go along with forgiveness, right? Because we believe that it's about forgiving. It's about seeing the lifestyles, the comebacks in our life as lifestyles that are designed for us to grow, lifestyles that are designed for us to step into our purpose and not limitations. So I want to thank, Conversations with Geoff and Comeback King Enterprises for sponsoring this series. And we're really, really looking forward to, she kind of alluded to, and y'all got to remind her, she kind of alluded to getting into some May stuff so we don't let it run away from us, because May is coming up. She talked about some things. So anyway, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Geoff Tyson, and I'm affectionately known as the Comeback King and host of Conversations with Geoff and founder of Comeback King Enterprises, where we, again, as I mentioned to you, we seek out to find people like our current speaker who have really been through some things and are willing to share from the bottom of their heart with the intention of reminding you that it's possible. It's possible to go from forgiveness to self-love, right? And all those things that are built in and around that, right? So anyway, as always, take notes. Let us know where you're coming from. We don't always see where you are. And so when you get us and you're live, just hit the comments, say, I'm here from Facebook, or I'm here from wherever you are. And let's have some fun one more time with my dear friend and our guest and our expert in this space, Miss Monica Hall. Let's bring it on up here. Where we got it. There we go. Hey, what's up?
Hello. How you doing?
Hey. Yeah, doing fantastic. I'm ready, girl.
Yeah. I'm glad to be here tonight. All is well. We thank God.
Yes, we do indeed. So how was your day today? We really
It was a good day today. It was a good day. Got through work. I went to work a little late, but got through work, came home, got ready for today. So, I'm just excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, Geoff. I really appreciate it.
Well, I got to tell you, it's been an honor, truly, and a privilege, Monica, as I've shared with you, just to kind of each week, I think after we're done, I'm like, wow, can it get any better? And then the next week, it gets better. And each time I'm getting the box of Kleenex, right? When I go off screen, you can't see me sometimes because just the realness in your message and the depth of your humility is amazing, right? And so I know you know that, but I can't say it enough because it's really important to have people like you out here that set the example, let other people know that, man, it's possible. So now I'm going to be quiet. So what do you got for us this evening? Where are we going today?
Well, first, I just want to say, listen, no one wants to choose the journey of, devastation and having to go through all of that and the breaking down process and the rebuilding back process. No one wants to volunteer to go through that. I am grateful that the Lord allowed me to get through, to get to the other side. We always have to remember that we don't do anything in our own strength. It is God who helps us to do it. It's God who helps us to get through, right? So although no matter what devastation or where you at in life, I want you to know that you can get to the other side. There is hope on the other side, sis. You do not have to stay where you are. And I know, never minimizing pain, because that pain is, I know what that pain feels like, but I also know what freedom feels like. I also know what joy feels like on the other side. And I know that God is able to bring you out. So I before I do anything, I want you to hear that message. You can recover. No matter where you are today, sis, you can recover. I am the receipt. I am the proof of it that you can recover. So yeah, we've been full circle. We've been full circle. And today, really, we want to talk about what it is to walk in freedom. Last week, we did some very, very heavy work, right?
Yes.
We did some heavy work last week, and I do have the one sheet for anyone who may have missed last week. So, and those who asked for it, it will be in your email box tonight. But we did some heavy work last week identifying our pain, right? We started with the devastation and what happened in my life with my divorce and the devastation and this life just changing all in an instant, it felt like, right? And then we dealt with talking about that pain and holding on to it and thinking that you're justified in holding on to it and not wanting to let it go. Like, this is this is my crutch. This is my comfortable place, and I am justified to hold in this pain. And we also talked about, knowing that it's right to forgive and not wanting to do it. Not wanting to do it, like making a choice, like, no, I can't, like, this is unforgivable. Like, no, Lord, you have to get them, right? We talked about that, and I'm like, and the Lord clearly told me somebody's praying that he get me for them. And I'm like, shut my mouth, because Lord, I don't want you to get me, because you're never blameless, right? In these situations and these circumstances, no one is blameless. So we talked about getting to the place where you can ask God to help you, right? I don't want to let go of this pain. I don't want to forgive, but because your word says so, because I know it's right to do, help me to forgive. Just keep praying that prayer. If you can pray that prayer, that's a start. That's a start in the right direction, right? And once you do that, you can make a choice. All of a sudden, a choice came up for me. And I was like, you know what? I really choose to forgive. I really, really choose to forgive. And then you have to practice what you preach, because that memory is going to come back. A trigger is going to come back. Something's going to remind you, right? It's like that scab you get when you get a scar and then that scab. And sometimes, the scabs come off, like we're playing in the water and it gets, soft and it comes off and that wound is open again. But you have to remember, I made a choice to forgive. I made a choice to forgive. We talked about the ladder, sitting at the bottom of the ladder and looking up and having to make a decision. You have to make a decision. And how are you going to do it? It's scary going up that ladder. It was scary for me traveling that ladder. I never had to get up on the ladder before. Right. Well, one step at a time. One step at a time. You don't have to know the whole story. You don't have to know what's happening way down the road, right? Because sometimes that's how we have control. I want to know what's happening. I want to know all the steps, Lord. You have to take me A through D, right?
That's right.
And he's like, I'm not going to take you nowhere. Only thing you need to do is take one step. And I'm like, okay, one step. The next thing you know, you up on top of the ladder and you're looking down, and now you're saying how I'm gonna get down, right?
Don't be afraid of heights, boy, because it's a long journey back. That's funny.
But the way you got up is the same way you're gonna get down, one step at a time. And that right there taught me how to release control. Because one thing we talked about forgiveness is that we feel like we are justified, that they should be the one in pain, that, like, where is my justice? Where is my justice, Lord? And you don't get justice, and it doesn't matter, because this is not about justice. This is about getting to the place where you, sis, can walk in freedom, where you can let go the baggage, when you can let go the weight, where the unforgiveness does not hold you anymore, right? That weight, because it's very weighty. It doesn't feel that way sometimes, but when you let it go, you understand, oh man, I was so heavy. Do you understand that, Jeff? I know you understand
Well,
that.
I still, I'm still amazed how when you talked about, and this is probably going back a few sentences about when you got to that forgiveness piece, when God told you to that you should forgive Monica. It was, and when you shared that, it was like I was like, man, I was convinced that was for real.
Oh yes.
I mean, the power in that, right? It's one thing to say it, but to be blessed to be able to see someone who lived it, and reminded me, of my balled up moments and my,
Yeah.
wanting to
Yeah.
hold on, letting go with claw marks, right? Just holding on to the board
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
very end
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
things, and times when I really wanted to get somebody.
Yeah.
I want somebody to pay for some of the things that happened in my life. and you
That's
and
real.
and you said what you said. It was like, man, that was. I tell people, if anybody that will listen to me, I always like to share what goes on these shows, and that's one thing I've been telling people. That they kind of see me coming, and you got something else to tell me because I'm talking to them about you.
No, but it's like it's so real because you have to get to the realization where you understand that this is a problem and that
Yeah,
you want different for your life, right?
yeah,
So you I'm sure you have met people that they'll start talking about situations that happened 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and they're still holding on to those
yeah,
situations, still holding on to that pain, right?
yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's easy to work through those things. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that it's possible. And
That's right.
I am saying that if you ask God to help you, that He will help you to get through it, right? So it's not again, I never want to minimize anyone's pain because I didn't want my pain minimized. I was devastated,
Yeah, that's right.
beyond devastation, right? Not knowing
Hmm.
what was next in life, how I was going to survive, how I was going to make it. 23 years was a long time, but God has taught me that He has been with me every step of the way. Even when I was angry with Him, even when
Yeah.
I said, God, it's like, do you have to forgive God? I don't know. But it was just like, I was just like, God, you played the okey doke on me. Like,
Yeah,
how did this even happen?
yeah,
But all of those things have helped me to get to the place where I'm living a life that's free of that. Is not based on, you know, evil happening to anyone or
yeah.
anything like that. We talked about that quote when I said that you have the keys in your hand. And it's like
Yes,
you
yes.
go into the prison cell and you opening the door and you finding out you were the prisoner inside. I'm
Mm.
like, hold up. I am to hold up to the joy in my own life. I
Yes,
am to hold up to the happiness in
yeah,
my own life, to the
yeah,
peace, to the
yeah,
love. Oh
yeah.
my goodness. I'm like, wait, let me get this together. Let me get myself together.
Yeah,
So
gonna be reset, right? I mean, yeah,
yeah,
very powerful
yeah.
reset. Yeah.
And making this a lifestyle. And it's something that you're gonna have to keep going through. You're
Mm.
gonna have to keep doing it. But the more you do it, I'm not sure if it's the easier, but it becomes more
Mm.
like second nature.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I
right.
mean?
I
It
think
becomes,
so. I think
yeah,
so. Yeah, it
yeah,
becomes like anything else. You're comfortable with it. You don't have any doubt about it. But I want to just ask, what about like I was in my life at times when somebody is just when they think about God in the relationship, it's just like there's no way He's forgiven me. I'm in this pain. I need Him, but I can't ask Him. That person they can't. I was that way for. They can't ask Him for
yeah,
help because in whatever teachings they've been exposed to, whatever situations they've been
yeah,
told.
yeah,
Back in the olden days, man, and you did anything wrong, you were going to hell, and God was going to punish you, and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And there's people that still carry that message in
No,
themselves. And so, what about those? What can you say about those people? Because it helped me when I really realized that, man, he is really a loving and caring and forgiving
he's
God, right?
oh yes, oh
Yeah,
yes. He
yeah,
is standing with his arms wide open,
yeah.
waiting to take you back. He's sitting right on the side of you right now.
Mm,
He's sitting there. You don't think he's there. You think that you are the worst of the worst of the worst, that your situation is the worst of the worst. but he is standing there waiting for you just to look to him, just to ask him to help you, just to look to him and say, Lord, I need your help. You don't have to have no fancy words. You don't have to have no eloquent speech. You don't have to have went to college. You talk to God just like you talk to your neighbor. Well, maybe not your neighbor. You got to be respectful, right? But then again, listen, God can handle anything. He's the God of the universe. He knows me. He knows what's in my heart. He knows what's in my mind. So you ain't got to sugarcoat it, right? We talked about me saying, God, that I was angry at him, right? He already knows what's in my heart. He made me. So he knows everything about me, right?
That's right.
You can just talk to God wherever you are in your situation and just ask him to help you. He is there. He wants you to recover. He wants to restore you. He wants to bring you back. He's married to the backslider. He is a God of love. Yes, he is a God of judgment. Yes, the wages of sin is death. But guess what? You're still alive. So you got another chance. You're not done yet. Like, come on.
He's not dead. He's not done.
He's not done. He still has purpose. He still has a plan for you. He knew you in your mother's womb. Like all of that. He has purpose for you, sis. So all you have to do is say, Lord, forgive me. You have to repent and you have to get up from where you are. One step at a time. Not the whole, not, what they're going to say, how they're going to look at me. No, we're not worried about that. You have to get in God's word. You have to see what God says about you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderfully made, right?
Unique.
We talked about that self-love, looking in the mirror.
Looking in the mirror,
to forgive yourself. And then learning to love yourself. Right? Because how can you expect the love from the outside when you don't have the love from on the inside? But that takes work.
It does. And how was that journey? Just for those that didn't know. I mean, how was your journey? I mean, there had to be some, for me, I was like, man, I really just looked at myself and I struggled with some self-love with my journey. Right. And I didn't like it myself. I got to a point where I despised myself. I mean, just keeping it real. We don't hold nothing back here in this conversation, right? I mean, it's like I look in the mirror and I'm like that guy looking back at me. I'm like dodging, because of the guilt I carry, right? There's some cats out there, and women out there carrying some guilt that I carry. But there's other people who just are stuck in that spirit. How can we help them?
So we have to do what the Bible says, right? The Bible says that if we repent, God is faithful and just to forgive us of our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Everything. He just wipes it clean as if it's never, ever happened. He just wipes it. Could you imagine? In my finite mind, I can't. But he just wipes it clean. It's like it's never has happened. And you can get up and you can recover. It takes effort. Now, sometimes we want to stay where we are because the effort is too much. We don't want to put in the work. But we talked about things that you need to do to support you. You need to find like-minded people who have the same beliefs as you. You need to get to therapy. You need to figure out who those people are that you can reach for. Who you can say, hey, you need to raise your hand sometimes and say, I just need help.
Need some help. That's right.
You need some help. I've isolated myself. I'm guarded. Whatever the issues are, because sometimes we do that, right? But you have to raise your hand and say, hey, you know what? I do need help. I do want better. I do want to get out this situation. I do want to get out this rut. I really want to be happy again. Like, I want to be happy in life. You know how big that is? Have you ever met anyone that's always so unhappy, always complaining, always fall for, it's like, sis,
that's right. You're running away from that person. I'm like, hey, I got to go. Somebody call. Looking at my watch. I don't have a watch on, right? But I got to go.
I'm like, is anything happy for you? You woke up today. And sometimes life is like that, right? Because when I was at rock bottom, when I was depressed, when I was anxious, when I was suicidal, everything was bad. right? I didn't want to get out the bed. I didn't want the sunlight in my room. I didn't want to see a new day, right? So I understand that. I understand that you can get to that place sometimes. And so, but the thing was, I had to get to the place where I said, you know what? I want better.
Yeah.
I want better. I want to be able to get out the bed. I want to be able to find joy. And we talked about it like early on, probably in the first interview, how my heart was so hard.
Yeah.
Things that I suffered and the things that I went through. And I'm not a hard-hearted person, you know. I've never been that way, but my heart had got hard for the things that I have suffered, bitterness and anger, and all of those things have sat in it. But God used the garden. God used my garden, planting seeds and my hands in the dirt and my feet in the dirt. My kids would be like, why are you barefooted in the garden? I need my feet to touch the dirt.
Ooh, come on, girl. Say that one more time, because there's so much power in that.
I needed my feet to touch the dirt.
The roots, man.
My hands to touch the dirt. It was the grounding. It was just, it just brought so much life to me. Nature, taking walks, feeling the sun on your face, moving your body, like all of those things. Sometimes it's drinking a glass of water, right? It's like it goes down in your body and it just like refreshes you. You just have to take one step at a time, sis, wherever you are. You can make it out of there. I'm telling you, you can. Find me. If you need an ear, call me. I will listen to you. We have a support group. We meet third Thursdays. Come on in. I'm like, there are places where you can find support. You do not have to suffer with what you're suffering in.
That's right. Because at some point, I'm just going to say this. This is my opinion. I don't mean any insult. Sometimes we begin to choose that pain rather than let go. I mean, you know, and it becomes a choice because how we see ourselves. And what was one thing that really kind of helped you flip that script, you know, when you really like, you know, it's kind of like the experience you realize when God told you need to forgive him. What was something that you like? Was it subtle? I guess was the transition subtle, or was it kind of something, you know, epiphanies that happened when you really started there?
When I really started to forgive, and I told the story of being at the sink washing dishes. And the Lord reminding me of when we used to go to the prison and minister to the inmates. We never asked them what they did. We never asked them, are you a murderer? Are you a rapist? We never asked them what they did. But we ministered life to them. We ministered God's words to them. We ministered love to them. We ministered forgiveness to them. We ministered that you can live a life free, that you can make it to heaven, right? That God can forgive you. We ministered that to them. And when he said, well, he's my son, just like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
That's right. That's right. I remember. You're like,
but do you know what he did? But do you know what he did? Like, he's not God, right? Like, he's not God. He don't know.
You don't know.
But do you know what he did? And God was like, yeah. But just like you were free to do that, you have to get to the place where you're free to do this. And then slowly, it was a slow process.
Yeah.
And I told you, I got off the road a little bit. I went to the left when God told me to go right. I was like, forget all of this.
Yeah. Come on now.
I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts of this. If this is what happens while I'm serving you, let me just go on over to the other side.
See you later. I'll call you when I need you.
Yep. That's the realness of it. Just let me go on the other side. Let me just do what I want to do. Hang how I want to hang, like all the stuff, right? And so when you talk about being at the bottom and then having to get back, like get out the pit, like get out the pig pen. Get out the pig pen because you like, you know,
funk off of you.
right. Because you know you know that you want better in life. You know that there's something better for you. So it was a slow process. It was a slow process.
Yeah.
That gardening and watching things grow and peek up out the dirt and watching the flowers and watching the tomatoes, like all of those things was just slow processes. But God just used those processes to kind of soften my heart, literally at a time, as much as you allow him. Because remember, he's a gentleman. He's not going to force you to do anything.
I like that. He's a gentleman.
You got to make a choice to do it. He don't force you.
He doesn't force you.
You can have this or you can have that. Which one do you want?
Yeah, yeah. I'm here when you're done with it. I'm gonna give it back. I'm gonna let you play. I like that. He's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman. He doesn't force our will.
He will not.
I said it's so important to make a choice to forgive. You have to choose. Right. It's an act of your will to choose to forgive and to keep choosing to forgive.
Keep choosing. Yeah.
This is not a one-time thing. That's why this worksheet is important that you have so that you can keep going back to it and say, oh yeah, I have something. Oh, something happened today. Oh, that lady did that. Oh man, I did. You know, you can just go back to that sheet and say, okay, let me get through these steps.
Yeah.
Let me get through these steps and just get it off of you so that you can live free. I mean, right now there are so many things that are happening in the world. People are just angry, and I get it.
Yeah.
They're just angry. Like one little thing, and it's, you know what I mean? It could be something that you would have took before, but now if it happens to you, it's just like an explosion. You know?
It's and I'm guilty sometimes. I sense that in myself, you know, and I'm a peaceful man, but what you're talking about is so true. And I'm glad you brought it up because, you know, if you have lifing on you and then you're in this space, right? I mean, anything, we're subject to do anything at that time, right? Some days I was waiting for somebody, you know, just to kind of, just kind of sitting waiting for, you know, somebody, but I was scared too. So, you know, because I knew I was raging over stuff, but you know, I hadn't really started to work on myself, but I knew that I was in a dangerous spot. And I know there's people out there that are in this dangerous spot. That's why I was bringing it up. I mean, I've healed from that stuff, but if you're walking around with lifing on you, and then you still with all this anger and frustration, like you just said, please be careful because you walk up on the wrong person at the wrong time, and you taking a BB gun to a machine gun show. You know, it's going to be a bad situation. And so I know that's not what we're here to really talk about, but it can lead to other things if we don't take care of ourselves.
If we don't take care of ourselves, God wants us to be whole, mentally, physically, spiritually, our soul, our mind, our heart, like all of it in entirety. He wants us to be whole. And you can find that joy again. Sometimes it's just like so hard. I talk to women all the time, you know, and you know, one thing that I do is help women navigate through life challenges. And so I understand it's, you know, when that thing first hits you, it's like a Mack truck running over you, man. And depending what it is, it just changes the landscape of your whole life, right?
Right.
But wherever you are, I'm telling you, you can find that joy again. You can find that peace. You can find that freedom again. You can take off the weight of that heaviness that you've been carrying, and you can get to the other side. If you don't hear nothing else, man, and the reason why I keep saying it so much, because I didn't think I was gonna make it.
I believe that. You know,
I did not. I'm like, there is no way I can recover from this. There's no way. Not that I was so special, not anything, but it was just like, there's no way I'm gonna recover from this. And look at me now, only but by the grace of God. I'm telling you, only by the grace of God. No goodness of my own. Somebody pray for me. Somebody lay hands on me. Somebody encourage me. You know, sometimes you feel like I felt like my circle was too small. I didn't have the people around to support me, but God helped me, and He gave me pillars, what I call pillars of support, in different places that help me, that help push me, that help say, come on, you can get there. Come on, you can make it. Come on, you can get out the bed today. I'm like, get out the bed? Like what?
Why?
Like, what do I need to get out the bed for? Just let me stay here with the covers pulled over my head, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that sometimes, but you can do it, sis. You can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that they can do it. And fellas, and that you act like everything is all right, it's just a walking time bomb. Sooner or later, something's gonna give, and you're gonna find yourself in a spot that you may not want to be in.
Yeah.
So, I know we're talking about sis, but I see so many men, like me that were, still had the image on, and then taking that image and doing things, disrespecting themselves and other women just because they want to feel better, and that never works. And so, man, I'm curious. I always like to just ask you these questions to come up, and you just answer them. So I love that, because if I got the question, somebody else got the question.
All right.
And, so when how often, if at all, are you having triggers that kind of come back, take you down that memory lane, take you down that space where you thought you was already clear from and way down the street from? Has that happened, or are you beyond that now? What, can you share where you are? I guess you have been.
Oh yes. Triggers come up all the time. We talked about the first I want to say hi to Alicia. Hey Alicia. Hey community. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, please say hello, because I'm seeing people coming in and out and I don't see anything in the comment section. So y'all, I'm really not ignoring y'all, right? Y'all just keep showing her some love. They're coming in and out, and for whatever reason, I don't see anything in the comments. So if you haven't already, please say hello or something. Maybe I can recognize that. But yes, people are coming in and doing their thing. So you give them their props when you see them.
Thank you for community for showing up. I appreciate you guys. Say hello. Let us know where you're from today. And if you want to get my one-page sheet on forgiveness, helping you to navigate through some forgiveness, just put it in the comments and I'll get to you after the show and we'll get it to you. So talking about triggers, we talked about not too long ago, I had a leak in the garage. And, it just reminded me that I'm still here doing things by myself. And then that thought came with another thought, came with another. And so all of a sudden, I really had to pray this exact prayer. Lord, help me to deal with this without reopening an old wound. Help me to deal with this without reopening something that you have already healed me from.
Amen. Be specific in what you ask for. I love that.
And oh my, did he help me? Did that bitterness and now this doesn't always happen because again, this is a process. This is work, right?
That's right.
You have to figure out how to keep doing it so that when it shows up, you can recognize it, you can catch it, and you can deal with it. Sometimes we just let thoughts run around in our head without catching them, right? And then have one thought here, and then one thought there, and then one thought there, like we talked just a few minutes ago.
Spiral.
And then you look up and you be like, why am I so angry today? What happened? Like the world is on fire. Like everything is wrong. But if you can recognize and sometimes sit in that quiet and go back and start looking at stuff, you can see, oh, this happened. Oh, that happened. So triggers come all the time. And I'm very specific in how I deal with them. Catching like those thoughts. Catching those thoughts and saying, okay, I feel that. That still hurts. Okay. But it doesn't have to take me down the spiral. It doesn't have to take me down to bitterness street. It doesn't have to take me down the angry street. It doesn't have to take me through the lunatic street. I don't know, seriously. Like,
I get it. I love how you just keep it real.
It doesn't have to take me down the street that I start going, right? It doesn't have to take me down the street of going to get a drink. It doesn't have to take it, like all of these things. It doesn't have to take me down a bad street, but I do have to acknowledge the pain.
Yes.
I have to acknowledge the trigger.
Yes.
And when that pain shows up, I'll be like, okay, Lord, is it something more you need to heal?
Yeah.
Is there something else more going down in there? Because it's a process. Healing is a process. I don't think we ever finish being healed. Like, you know what I mean? Like when we finish, Jesus just need to come and get us so no one else don't injure us. So we don't have to start all over again. Right?
That's the only way I know, you know, when you leave here.
Yeah.
If you're living, you're going to run into adversity.
You're going to run into adversities. That's just how life is, right? So yeah, the triggers are going to come, but you have to learn how to see them, how to catch them. And even sometimes you got to sit with that feeling. And sometimes that's hard.
That's the tough part when you really need to sit, but that's the greatest gift time. That's when the connection with the spirit is as greatest. My experience.
Yeah.
Right. Is in those quiet times when you just not certain if the quiet time is really the place to be, but you sit through it. Right.
Yeah.
And you get that connection. And it's overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
The experience that he gives us back, because life's going to show up, and you know you're going to have memories, and that's why I talk a lot about help with men with the mirror moment and doing exactly what you said, becoming aware of it and all the little triggers and everything else, and then all the things the stories we tell ourselves and how we end up back at our doorstep, and then
stories we tell ourselves,
the conversation we have with ourselves about ourselves, and is you know.
That's far from what God says about us.
Yeah. Most of the time it's the furthest thing from what he says about us, and it has the most impact.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I love how you've got some worksheets together. What other little tricks do you have in your bag before you get away today? I know I didn't ask you ahead of time. What other tricks do you have in the bag that might be kind of useful to what we've been talking about, or maybe you can touch on?
So one of the things that I will always say is that you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself, right? So even definitely in those hard times and those challenging phases, those challenging parts of life, you have to take care of yourself. Take a walk. Walking or just move your body. Some people, you can't walk, you have knee issues. Sit in a chair, do arm exercises. If your arms hurt, sit in the chair, lift your legs up, but move, have some type of movement in your day-to-day life, right?
That's right.
Sitting outside and I just love the sun. We have such a great relationship.
It was beautiful this morning too. I was basking in it.
We didn't have that much sun in New York, but it wasn't cold, so I was okay with that, right? And it wasn't raining, so I was okay with that.
All right.
But I come outside, I'll be like, "Hello, Mr. Sun." I'll be like, "Thank you for just wash over me." The sun just does wonders for me. I'm a nature girl, so I like to be in nature. So walking where the trees are, walking where the water is running, that brings life to my soul. So one of the things I would suggest is figuring out what brings you joy.
I like that.
What brings you joy in a good way? I'm not talking about that 5-minute joy or that 10-minute joy. Or that joy you wake up the next day and you be like, I cannot believe
it. That joy, like.
that joy.
And that might have been her name too. Was it Joy?
Wait, I have a sister named Joy. I wonder if she's on today. No. Joy, are you on? But that was a hard part for me. That was a hard part, finding out what brought me joy and turning to those things to help me find a spark of joy in my day. Because sometimes life is going to be hard. And that's go ahead.
No, I'm glad you said that too, because at the very beginning you talked about you having to really have to learn a lot of things about yourself. For the first time, even as an adult, there was, because of how your situation was and the positioning that you were in,
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of you that you had to get to know before you even know what joy is yours
Yeah.
and not somebody else's. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Especially
Mm.
when you're married a long time or you're in a long time relationship, you
Yeah.
kind of meld together. Well, the two
Yeah.
shall be one flesh. That's what the Bible
That's
tells.
right.
Leave
That's
your
right.
mother, your father, two shall cleave together, be one flesh, right? So
Yeah.
you're together. So then you have this ripping apart, and you're like, well, who the heck am I now? Like,
Yeah.
who am I without a title? Who am I without being
Mm.
a mother, without being a
Mm.
wife, without being a worker, without being this? That was like at your basic level. Who are you? That to
Yeah.
me was a little difficult
Mm.
because it's like I've always done things, I guess maybe for other people, what's
Yeah.
up,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a servant, I'm a helper, like you
Yeah.
always are doing things even as a wife, as a mom, as a as somebody in the church, as helping the older people, as helping the kids, like you're
Yeah.
always doing. Then you when you sit down and you'll be like, well, what is it that I like
Yeah.
what is it that I like to do?
Yeah.
If you
And
can just find some time to kind of sit down and figure out what it is that you like to do, and then
mhm.
find time to do it,
Yeah. Yeah.
that helps you tremendously because you're finding joy in your day, you're finding joy in your life, and that helps you to not be bitter about other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I was just going to add to that and say that sometimes, people that are really in that space, they can tell you all the things they don't like to do. So maybe what you do, you put all those down on paper too, and then you write the opposite of it.
Yeah,
Right. I mean,
right.
that's an exercise I help people with because, it's, we ask somebody, what are your dreams? And they'll say, well, and they'll tell you all the things that they don't think they can get their dreams from. Right.
Right, right,
And it's
right.
kind of the same thing about myself because there's a whole lot of dynamic going on how they see themselves and what
Yeah,
their experiences are. That
yeah.
messaging that we're talking about, that conversation they have with themselves
Mm-hmm,
about themselves. So I like that, to begin that journey. That's good.
yeah, you gotta find time for it. You gotta find that joy. You gotta figure out. I mean, it was like basic things to me. Like, do I really like fried chicken or did I just eat it because that's what we always made? It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like it
Yeah.
sounds silly sometimes, but then I'm like, you know what? Did I really like that? It's like,
Yeah.
no, I actually didn't. And that's
Yeah.
okay because we're still learning ourselves. We're still
Yeah.
figuring ourselves out. We're still, you know what I mean? We're still allowed to grow.
You're
Even
still
if
allowed
we're
to grow.
even if we're later in life, we're in our 40s and our 50s. We're
Yeah.
still allowed to evolve and grow and be a little different. So that's okay.
And that brings some excitement when I hear you talking about it. I mean, I'm like, man, that's good. I mean, that should give you some energy,
Yeah,
right?
it
I
does.
mean,
It
that's something
fuels
else
you.
to look forward to, right? I mean, I think you can become stronger in your own strength,
Yeah.
right? In your
Yeah.
own person, your own presence, because
Yeah.
all that just so there's so many things around
Yeah,
that
confidence
come.
in your own skin.
Yeah.
When I was in therapy, that's one of the things that we did. I made a list of all the things that I wanted to do.
Mm.
And I say, because my cycle was interrupted with the challenges of life, I had time to kind of figure out because I didn't have now all of these responsibilities that I had to do. So I had
Hmm.
time to kind of think of, what I wanted to do. And I got to try some things that I didn't like, but I got to
Yep.
try some things that was so exhilarating. Jumping
Yeah.
off the plane. That was like, what? I would have never done that. I would have never done that. But it was so exhilarating. Just a beautiful, oh my gosh. It was
Yeah.
scary as heck. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you that. It was
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the plane of the door, I was saying no. I changed my mind. And the guy he didn't even
He
pay
wouldn't even hear you.
attention.
Yeah.
And my mother had already jumped out. So I'm like, how my mother's
Mm.
gonna jump? My mother's 70 something. She's jumping and you scared to jump. I'm like, oh man.
You
But
gotta go.
yeah, but
Yeah.
doing that exercise really helped me to find those things that I wanted to do. And you could try some things, you might not like it, but that's okay. At least you
Right.
tried something new.
Right. Right. And I'm thinking, because Galveston's not too far from where we live, so on the beach a lot. And there's a part of the beach where they actually land those that jump out tandem jumpers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And so we always kind of run over, make sure that we can see their faces
Yeah.
coming at us from the person that's done it for the first time, right? And it's just man, I talk myself into it and out of it. Now I'm kind of talking myself back into it again, right? I mean,
You
because
should try it.
I could dizzy. I could do the hang gliding and stuff like that. I've done that, but something about height difference. But I'm because my daughter wants to do it. So I think maybe I may convince her to convince me. But it's just amazing the joy I see. I mean, that's this.
Oh my gosh. It really was spectacular. It really was. The first 30 seconds you're free falling. So it's like, are we gonna stop? But then once you stop and you are gliding, it is the freest thing ever.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So yeah, you get to try different things. Try pottery, try a cooking class, just try a sewing class. Find a walking group, find a talking group. If you like to play cards, find a card group. I love Dave and Buster's. That's part of my, oh my gosh. I love Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's. You're a kid, dog. The kid comes out for real there. Huh?
I am like a big kid. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us today. I am like a big kid, and air hockey is my favorite.
Oh man,
favorite. I got beat 3 times this weekend. I was devastated. I'm like, how? I'm like, I can't believe it. But that's my fun time. I go to Dave and Buster's, and I'm like a kid, and I get to play all the games that I want. I get to stay as long as I want. I can do whatever I want. And when I leave, I am so full of joy. I'm so happy. You get to laugh out loud. You know what I mean? Laughter, merry heart does good like a medicine. Like man, all of those things you get it, and then you walk out. You be like, oh, I feel light. I feel happy, and I'm usually a happy person anyway. But it just helps to continue the process, right?
Oh, it opens it up, it fuels it. I mean, you talked about movement earlier, about moving your body because the physiology around our body makes the difference between mental and spiritual, right? I mean, it all connects together. And so I'm glad that you found Dave and Buster's. That's a great place to go. And
love it.
It's just so many things. It's simple things. I mean, you from gardening, putting your feet in the dirt and your hands in the dirt, to going out and taking a walk. So there's no excuse.
Yeah.
Other than sometimes you're just still stuck in that space.
Yeah, just find something, one thing. Sometimes it's painting. I'm not really a painter, but they have these painting classes you can do.
Yeah, they have a lot of classes. Yeah.
So many things are online that you can try and see if it's something that you like.
And don't worry if you ain't any good at it, right? Just go try it anyway. I mean, that's the only way you know. Nobody cares.
No, nobody cares. It's
not
for
judging
you.
Just for you to do it. I mean, I love the pottery, man. I did some cool little pots and stuff.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's so many things that you can explore, like you're saying, and healing that. So, but before we start to run out of time, which, oh man,
40.
Yeah.
Hello, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Let us know where you're coming in from.
Yes, please do that. Please do that. And we're not ignoring you. I should be calling, but I don't see it. Haven't figured out why it is. So thank you for handling that piece because you folks are important. I mean, this is what we come to serve you, and we hope that we've given you something that if it hasn't helped you directly because you're not in need of it, you know somebody that it can, or we appreciate your support. Because life be life, and we can have some different choices to how we live our lives, and and the comebacks in life are really about the lifestyle, not the limitation. I believe in that, and you've done so many great things. You talk about that. You don't forget the list. She's gonna give you that list. I didn't raise my hand, but I really kind of would like to see it more. I would like to see it more.
I'll send you. I'll send you one page. I'll send you the forgiveness worksheet. If you need this worksheet, please let me know in the comments, and it will be in your inbox tonight. So all those who wanted it last week, it'll be in your inbox tonight. And if you're seeing the replay, just let us know it's the replay, and I can still send it to you. So we did 4 interviews, right?
Yes.
All 4 Tuesdays. So go back to the first week, before it gets off, because you know they only hold the interviews for 30 days. But you have it on YouTube. Come Back King.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
on YouTube, so you can catch it there as well. Please go and listen to these interviews. I feel like the Lord is even helping me. Although I'm doing the talking, it's like a mirroring for me. I get to kind of search my own soul to see what's going on in my own heart and my own mind, to make sure that I'm still on the path that I need to be for healing, because healing, it's a journey. It's a journey. It's not a one-time event. Don't think because you forgave today that something ain't gonna come up tomorrow and you're gonna be like, wait, I thought I forgave. It's like, yeah, you did, and you have to choose again to forgive again, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you failed. You got upset, you got angry. It's not a failure kind of situation. It's just make a choice again, and keep making that choice, and keep making that choice.
And turning it over when you don't feel like you want to make that choice.
Oh yes.
You know, that might feel good to you at
Yeah.
that moment. Some other things are going on in your life, and that really.
Yeah. So don't forget, next month I'm going to be doing Grace for Our Mothers. And Grace for Our Mothers is just that. We are giving our mothers grace. Sometimes we grow up just thinking life could be different. Our parents could have done different. My kids say the same thing. Ma, you did this. You kept us this. I'm like, but you know what is the greatest thing for you? This is me talking to my youngest is 22.
Okay.
So this is what I tell my kids. The great thing is that you now have control of your own life.
Yeah.
You don't have to live the way I brought you up. You can live however you The world is your oyster. Go and explore the world. You don't have to keep saying, this is what my mother did. This is what my father did. Like, you can make a choice for better. So I'm looking forward to Grace for Our Mothers. We're just going to go through some things and really just see if there's anything there. I talked a little about my story with my own mom, how, after I got saved, I had realized that I had some unforgiveness there for my childhood things, and just realizing that I wanted, my childhood to look different. I wanted it to be better. I wanted this to happen, that to happen. And it wasn't until I got older and I got to hear my mom's story that it really impacted me. And I got to see, oh, that's why she did that. Oh, this happened to her and that's impacted her, and we didn't like sit down and have a storytelling. She was going through recovery and I got to go to one of her meetings. Got to hear that story and got to see how people interacted. It was just like, it kind of made full circle for me. And it was just like, wow, she did the best that she could.
Yeah. And that's so, I felt the goosebumps when you were sharing that story, because in those processes in recovery, it is truth for them. Right. I mean, and the empathy from that experience allows you to land where you've landed and see things differently. Be open to that, because we don't really, I believe this. I say this out loud. I mean, my Nubian queens, by far, are the top of the food chain in my opinion. I know it says differently in the biblical space, but that's my opinion. I've said it before, I think, right? And so, but because of that, there's a lot of good, but there's also a lot of things that didn't help you in terms of being able to be emotional, to be that unguarded. It's always on protection and different things. Because we weren't always the best mates, still aren't. And so my life mission is to really kind of say, fellas, man, don't harm the one that's going to serve you, right? Show some respect for them and honor them, right? But then it's another conversation. But I can't wait to hear about this coming sessions in May about Miles, because my mom's left way too young, and there's nobody like mom.
Nobody like mom.
Nobody like mom.
Nobody like mom.
It's not whether you didn't do what she's supposed to do. There's nobody like.
Yeah. And we need to give her some grace, and we need to
give her some grace.
Yeah, man. It's all right. It's hard all around for everybody, you know. And
Yeah.
sometimes we don't get to sit down and understand the hardness until you go through some hardness, and then you'll be like, oh, I get it now. But
Yeah.
your parents may be gone now, and you didn't have a chance to have that talk with them and kind of release that, release them from it. So this is our opportunity now to, restore some relationships and let some things go, and, and have a conversation, because who sits down and talk with their moms about their lives, or their fathers about how was it when you were a kid?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a gift that, if you've got them and you haven't, then I would encourage you to do it, because it truly is a gift.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're able to tell you the truth, right? That's the part that
That's another part.
sometimes you don't always get the full story, but
Yeah.
if you could at least get some type of reference or dialogue from them, it'll explain a lot of things, because and you go into the socio-economical background and all the things that happened back in the woods.
Yeah. They didn't talk about, and you couldn't talk about it, and you still
couldn't talk.
talk about it.
Yeah, then you wonder what happened to Uncle John. Why couldn't he? He's gone all of a sudden, and he ain't. That's just talking my story.
Yeah.
Right? And then you hear all the rumors. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be very impactful.
Yeah.
Very impactful, because we need that, man. So how do you wrap us up for this? I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes, or whatever time you need. What do you want to leave here tonight with? I mean, you've dropped so many things. And again, I want to just thank you and your audience and folks for coming in and stopping by and showing support, and really just allowing me to enter into your space. And you've been so gracious, that, it's just been a joy over the last month talking to you and part of this series. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Comeback King. And Jeff, I appreciate you, because you didn't know me from anywhere, and you're like, yeah, you know what? After we talk, this is what we're gonna do. So I appreciate your space, and I appreciate your push. I appreciate your encouragement, and I appreciate all the women who are listening, and all the women who have contacted me afterwards, just telling me, oh, this impacted me. That what you said, I did not like the journey. No one volunteers for the journey. No one volunteers for the war, right? But as you go through and as you heal, it's my responsibility to go back and help someone else through that challenging time. And so that's all I'm trying to do, is saying, you know what? I understand what that feels like. I understand what devastation feels like, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, like all of those things. We don't talk openly and out loud about those things enough.
Right. That's right.
It doesn't mean that you're broken. It doesn't mean that you can't be fixed. It's not even like a fixing kind of situation, right?
That's right.
It's part of life that you go through. And if I'll start like I started, there is hope, there is joy, there is freedom, there is peace, there is love on the other side of whatever challenge that you are facing. You are not so low that God cannot reach you. He is there. He is waiting for you. He is right beside you right now.
Yeah.
Just waiting for you to say, Lord, help me. Just waiting for you. He is there. He is walking beside you. I understand that it does not feel that way, because I've been there. I understand. I do. I understand what it feels like to be mad at him, to be mad at the whole world, to be mad at what your situation that you're facing. But what I'm telling you is that you can recover, sis. Yeah. You can find joy again. You do not have to stay where you are. I know it's comfortable, but if you can make the decision that today I want something different. If you can just put in your mind that today I want something different. I don't want to be in pain anymore. I don't want to be mad about this situation anymore. I want to put this heavy weight down at the feet of Jesus. If you can make that decision today, if you can just ask God to help you today, I'm telling you, he is there. You may have went through this 4 weeks with us, and you may not feel like nothing has changed. I'm telling you, there is a gift. If you've listened If you've taken in, and you didn't even have to take in all of it, but if you've listened and if you've taken in some of this, there is a shift going on the inside of you. And if you could just keep making that choice every day, Lord, I told you, one point I didn't want to forgive. So I had to ask God to help me to forgive. And then when he helped me to forgive, I said, I choose to forgive. And then you have to keep making that choice. But I'm telling you, you can recover. You can recover. You can recover. Yeah.
And you're living proof of it. Not only recover, if you allow me to say thrive, right?
Oh,
I mean, I'm gonna put that on you, that prosperity, that thriving. So it's possible to go from what you talked about at the very beginning of this whole conversation to where you are now. And you're just getting started. So
from your mouth to God's ear.
I already told you, just getting started. I'm just the messenger that's been blessed with the privilege of these meetings and this conversation. So I'm looking forward to more. And it's been phenomenal once again, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you in May.
Yes, we'll see you in May. We'll see you in May. Looking forward to the other things that God may give us to do. Pray my strength in the Lord, that my ear will be to him, that I can hear what he says to do, and that I will move in that direction swiftly, right? We got to work while we have the opportunity to, because there's someone who needs to hear our stories. There's someone who needs to hear hope again. So pray for me that I will do God's will.
Well, you are doing it, and we continue to pray for you.
Thank you.
And thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Amazing. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
So, I mean, listen, guys, I don't know what else to say to you. I'm just going to say this and I'm going to let you go. Today, I want something different. I'm going to say that to you again. Can you say that? Today, I want something different. In the next 24 hours, do that for us. Every time you get ready to do something that takes you back down the rabbit hole, say, no, not today. Today, I want to do something different. And that something different may be just saying, I'm going to do something different, right? That might be all you got. That's great. Just do that for the next 24 hours and don't do the other thing, right? Replace whatever it is that's going to take you back down that rabbit hole. Today, I'm going to do something different. And then let us know after the next 24 hours, drop a note in the comment section too, and let them know, hey, I did it. And tell us what it was, right? One ask, that's all. Today, I want to do something different. So when I say goodbye, the 24-hour clock starts. All right, y'all, listen, thank you so much for that. And there's an opportunity to join the community where I actually ran into Monica. And so I want you to think about that. And as always, from Comeback King Enterprises and Conversations with Jeff, we appreciate y'all's support. If you go out and subscribe to Conversations with Jeff, that would be phenomenal. And as always, your comeback starts now. Let's rise together. No longer let the limitations be the reason why you're stuck. See your lifestyles and your comeback as the gift, like Monica has shared with us. And you too can find that, what she's been talking about. All right, guys, have a great day. Be on the lookout. If you need the replays and can't get them, get a hold of Monica or myself. I'm going to make sure you get them. And we'll see y'all in May. Pass this around, like and subscribe. Let's make this a movement, not just a message. All right, guys, take care. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.